Hello everyone and welcome back to Flux Investing. For today's quick stock analysis, we're diving into Nvidia. We'll use a rapid discounted cash flow analysis to see if this company is worth a deeper look or if we should skip it for now. Ready? Let's go. Let's start the analysis once we have already prepared the necessary information such as the income statement, balance sheet, and cash flow statement. You can see on the sheets below I already had them ready and have pasted main data into the template. If you want to see the preparation process, do not hesitate to check the step-by-step video. So let's go together through our checklist. What about the revenue? We can see it goes from about 5 billion in 2016 to 130 billion in 2025. So we can check the revenue as a yes. Let's move forward to the net income growth. We can see it is growing between 70 and 90% each year for the last 9 years. So for sure it is also a green light. Now the most important one, the free cash flow. Definitely growing from 1 to 60 billion in the last full fiscal year. Even higher if we look into the last 12 months. Now let's move to the evaluation metrics, PE and price to cash flow ratios. Both of them seem high, although growth is justifying them to be high. In any case, I will mark them as red. What about shares being issued? Remember that companies that issue shares are diluting your participation. It is better to own a bigger share of the pie. In this case, it seems quite stable. Some buybacks in recent years. Normal considering how much free cash they have. I will consider this point as neither good nor bad. Let's focus on the balance sheet metrics. If we look into their debt, which is quite low, and divided it by the free cash flow, we have that they could pay off their debt in 2 months. So definitely a good sign. Now values for current ratio, debt to equity, and return on invested capital will be copied directly from the ticker terminal platform. Current ratio, that compares current asset versus current liabilities, is an incredible 4x. Debt to equity is super low, as expected, only 10%. And last, return on invested capital. We want it to be higher than a 9% to show that the company knows how to invest their own money. In Nvidia's case, a staggering 85%. Incredible. To finish our checklist, we would have insiders buying, gurus buying the stock, and moat. I do not always complete all 3 of the checks, but in this case I would argue that Nvidia has a clear moat when it comes to GPUs. Now that we have finished the checklist, let's check the estimates for future cash flows. We input directly the cash flow estimates into the next 3 years. I have access to 3 years into the future, but you can have 2 years with a free account in Ticker Terminal. Now we see that between year 2025 and 2028 we expect an annual growth of 35%. That is the number we are going to use for our growth rates for years 2029 and 2030. We can see Nvidia has had a free cash flow growth between 50 and 70%, but I prefer to be conservative and stick to a not bad at all 35%. For normal and worst cases, I obviously use lower values, but let's focus on the best case. Do you think Nvidia can keep annual growth rates of 50%? Please comment. Using the 35% growth, we get an index ratio of 0.86. Meaning, Nvidia is still overvalued in best case scenario based on my assumptions. Going to the upper part of the sheet, in the summary we can see that taking into account the 3 scenarios, the fair market cap we come up with is $2.5 trillion and a target share price of $105. Even just focusing on the best case, I am not there yet to buy Nvidia. It is an amazing company, but it is quite pricey for me right now. I might be losing some good opportunities, but my main goal is to avoid risk. And we can see based on the target price, shown in red in the graph, there have been chances where the price might go down to our fair value for Nvidia. Sometimes we just have to wait. I hope you liked the video, and remember, the main goal of this method is to create a standardized process where we avoid risks. Please like and subscribe. You should next check the tutorial on how to create the templates. See you on the next one.